Hi, I'm Maria Trivelpiece in the Patriot League studio, joined by Army West Point basketball standout Kelsey Minato. Kelsey, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's only fitting, I think, that you're here because we're talking about the history of Title IX, and you made history while you were a student athlete in the Patriot League, setting the Patriot League all-time scoring record en route to having your number 5 jersey retired on senior day in Crystal Arena. So how important and how grateful are you for the women who paved the way for you to be able to do that?
Yeah, it's hard to describe because I really can't imagine my life not having played basketball up until college. It was just a huge part of my life. I would play with my dad. I would play on teams since I was in third grade, and just when I think back and I think about everything I've learned through sports, it's just had a huge impact on my life. And it's amazing the women who came before us and what they had to go through, and the challenges and obstacles that they had to overcome in order to give me and my peers the opportunity to play sports is just amazing. And it's just hard to describe the impact that sports has had on me. And I'm just really thankful and grateful that women before me had to kind of pave that way for us.
So in addition to playing basketball, after you graduated, you served in the United States Army, another place where women had to fight for opportunity. Who were some women leaders that you looked up to either while you were at West Point or while you were serving?
Mhm. Yeah, there were a few. The one that stands out right now is Colonel Diane Ryan. She was one of our officer representatives while we were at West Point, and she was just a great role model for us, just as a woman and also as a female officer. And she just spent a lot of time and effort to mentor us and to make sure that we were being good cadets, but also preparing us to be in the Army. And just a great example of what it means to be a woman in the Army. And I still keep in touch with her today, and I know a lot of my other classmates do as well. And she's just always been there for us, always there to give advice, to give support, to give guidance. Just a great role model. But there's been several along the way at West Point and in the Army who have just been a good mentor and taken time and effort out of their day to speak with me and to just give me support when I really needed it. So that makes a huge difference when you have a female mentor who you look up to, who you respect, and who you want to emulate. It makes a huge difference in whatever career field you're in, I think.
Why do you think it's so important to have those female leaders to look up to?
Yeah, it's important to have representation, and to know that when you see someone doing something that you want to do, it's really inspiring and motivating to see another woman doing that, and to see that they're successful and they're accomplished and they're respected by their peers. I think is really important. And I definitely felt that growing up with basketball. When I would go watch college or high school games, it was always really exciting for me to think that one day I could be in those shoes, and I could be playing Division I basketball. And the same goes for the Army or whatever career field you're in. If you see someone doing what you dream of doing, it just makes that dream that much more real and attainable.
So you've had all these role models to look up to while you were playing basketball, while you were in the Army. Now you're a global project manager. How do you plan on continuing to carry the torch and lead the younger generation?
Mhm. That's a good question. In my role now, there's a lot of women around me, a lot of very smart, influential, respectable women, and they've just been a great example for me of how to work hard, how to be a good teammate, how to treat everyone fairly and with respect. And it's great for me to see that. And I'm still fairly new in that role, so I know I still have a long way to go where I can kind of be that mentor for somebody else. But I think just staying grounded and just being a good person, being a good teammate, being a good leader, I think goes a long way. And I've always been the type of person who's more of a lead by example. So that's something that I try to focus on every day, is just leading by example and being a good teammate, because it's really important that you're just a good teammate, a good person.
You know, Kelsey, we talked about impactful women leaders in your life, but you also played for an impactful male leader and head coach Dave McGarity. How did he influence and help the fight for women in basketball?
Yeah, he was a great supporter and advocate for women's basketball and just for women in general. And I am extremely thankful that I had the opportunity to play with him because he was not just a great coach, but more importantly, he really cared about us outside of basketball and he cared about our academics, our personal development, our families. And he was really just a great presence in our life. And he's done so much for women's basketball at Army, and I think the women's basketball game in general. And he was just the best coach I could have imagined playing for. And I know my teammates probably feel the same way in that he was just a great presence in our life and a great support. He was always there if we needed to talk, if we needed to get some advice from him, if we had some issues that we were maybe dealing with off the court. He was just always there. And yeah, it was just an awesome experience playing for him.
What would your advice be to maybe a little girl who's told she can't do something, whether it be in sports or in something else? How does she overcome that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I faced that a bit growing up, and it's definitely discouraging. Nobody wants to hear that, but I would encourage her to first block out that type of noise and find the people in her support group who believe in her and who want to see her succeed and want to help her reach her dreams, and really focus on the positivity that those people bring and just continue to work hard and do what she loves to do no matter what anyone else says, because there's always going to be people out there who doubt you, who criticize you, who don't believe in you, but you first have to believe in yourself, and then you have to find people around you who also believe in you and will help you get to that point. So I would just encourage her to try to stay positive and motivated.
I love how you said that she has to believe in herself. But Kelsey, those are all the questions that I have. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.